Hi guys, welcome back to another Scrap Lift Saturday. Today we will be scrap lifting from this image that I found on Pinterest, and the page is by Mandy Melville. So in comparison to last week's Scrap Lift Saturday, if you did see that video, it's going to be a lot less of a literal translation this week. I'm doing a few basic elements I was inspired by her page, but I do a lot more of my own altering of the page, especially because I'm using two photos and they're much bigger. I'm actually using three photos. I'm using a Polaroid as well. But two 4x6 photos that are much larger than the small square she was using. And I just do a few different things. But I do take that wide strip, and this is the paper. It's Echo Park's Hello Again. It's double-sided. So that's what I'm using for the background paper. And I'm pretty sure that I have that sticker sheet on the left came with it. So it's from the same collection. Um, these elements I do include is that wide border strip I do along the center, and then I do mat the photos. I use a doily, I use a bow. So you'll see a few of those basic elements that I incorporate. But for the most part, I try and spice it up a little bit, especially just to fit what I'm doing for this page rather than working super hard like I did last week to get everything much more similar. So this is a more of a common idea of how I would scrap lift typically. I don't normally try and copy exactly what the page is. I just get ideas from there just to have a jumping off point. And I mostly scrap lift when I'm just not feeling inspired and I need something to get me excited or something to give me a little bit of a kickstart. So I'm matting my photos on this off-white with gold polka dot paper, and I mat both of them on there. And this is again from my Europe album. I went to Europe last summer. This is from when we were in Milan, and we were at the Duomo Cathedral. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It says on the scrapbook, or on the Polaroid picture what the place is called. But anyways, it's this really incredible cathedral. It's super beautiful, and you could like wait in line and pay to go inside, but the outside itself was insane on its own. And so we didn't end up going inside. But I always think it's a little bit weird to go into cathedrals, places of worship. I know it's very common when you travel, especially in Europe, to go to like churches and things. And I've been to them before and they're really beautiful, but I'm not a very religious person, and so I feel like it's disrespectful to go into, it seems disrespectful to go into a place where someone's praying and worshiping and be walking around taking photos. I just always felt like that was a bit weird. But I guess it's common. So I'm just working out the layout I want to do. I end up having a bit of an offset angle, and they end up being a little bit crooked intentionally, I guess, the photos. And I also am including this little Polaroid in there, which is cute. And I'm putting it up on my last little scrap of foam, which is like the scrap of scraps. And I definitely need to get more now. And you can also see my little double-sided tape roll is running out as well. So I'm getting through some supplies here. And so I tape those guys down. I don't know why I decided to use that tape instead of just glue. I try and use as much glue stick as possible because it's super easy, it's cheap, mostly because it's inexpensive. I don't run out of it very fast. And it's movable, which is nice. It's easy to pick up and move it around when I need to. But anyway, so I'm just getting the basic layout down. And if you're more interested in seeing more of this pin and closer up, or if you want to link to her blog, I will link the pin below in the description box. So I'll always do that for Scrap Lift Saturdays, unless it's my own scrapbook page and I don't have a video of it. If I in the future scrap lift myself and I have a video of the original page, then I'll link it below. But if it's a scrap lift of a random page I don't have a video of, then it won't be linked below. But anyways, I'm incorporating the doily like they had in the original pin. And so I just stick that up top. And then there's this like circle element to the right of the photos. And I try and find a way to incorporate that. And I kind of mess around with that for a while. And then I know that I want to do my title in a similar way to where she had this big word kind of overlapping. I think it said lovely. Overlapping her photo a little bit in the bottom right. And so I'm trying to figure out what title I want to use. I know I wanted to use one of these glitter thickers because they're a big, fun font. words, and so I put together because it's my friend and I together, and I end up putting the title, like the first half of the title, above that photo on the right in smaller tile stickers. You'll see me do that in a little bit here. So it's Around the World Together is the title that I end up with. And I think that's pretty cute. And I thought about putting the title above the together, but like right above it, but then it would have gone into the picture too much, so I just stuck with that. And then there's a little tag that says loving. And I was going to put this, but then I just didn't. And I thought I liked this sticker. It says something about adventures and friends together, whatever, something like that. But it just, the colors didn't work right together and the shape was weird, so I ended up sticking it down and then peeling it back up. But I find something else to go there. But I just punched that circle out of some pale aqua plaid paper, and I think it works really well with those. The strip paper that I use is this super faded, kind of vintagey stamp background, so it's a bunch of different stamps from all over the world, which I thought was appropriate for a travel paper or a travel page. And so that muted kind of plaid color complemented it well. And this is where I stick on that second part of the title. It's because the first part of the title, but I did it secondary to the together. And I spell out around the world with these thickers. They're like little tiles. And I thought about using the coral ones, but I ended up using the purple ones. And just like that, the title is on. I didn't want to make you guys watch all 3 minutes of me fussing around with that. And now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to put on that circle, and I wanted to do something floral, I decided, but these thickers just weren't, I wanted it to be something flat. The thickers weren't looking right, the colors weren't right, so I pull out my flat 12 by 12 sticker sheet that came with this, and there's this huge piece of floral, and the colors are perfect. They have the pink, that kind of aqua color, and yellow, but they're just huge, so I cut it in half, and I tuck a little bit there, and on the original, they have a florally type situation happening to the left of that photo, but I didn't have the space, so I end up tucking it on the bottom left. And I have a little overhang that I'll trim off, but I think it looks really good. It balances well. I didn't want to put it over the doily and have it cover up too much of the doily, so this has ended up being cute. And that's a really good way of having your embellishments go further, or dealing with really large embellishments is just cutting them down in half or in quarters or whatever you need to do. And then on my little thickers page, there's a ton of little like polka dots, stars, burst shapes. So I use a bunch of the little polka dots, kind of like enamel dots, and poke those around the page just to get that glittery gold incorporated elsewhere, because it's definitely noticeable and I wanted it to look well incorporated, not like an afterthought on the page. And I really like the title of this one. I think it's a cute title, and I think that having the top half be the beginning of the title, it is easy to read down and understand that it goes together. But also, if you don't notice the top half, together on its own is fine. And the original spread also had some word embellishments. I guess they were probably tiny word stickers too. So I incorporated a few, like love this, or XOXO, something, smile, smile, my heart, XOXO, I don't know, something cute. I put that right there. And then I, of course, put a little bit of those gold polka dot stickers, some more of those little circles. And I end up adding a little bow. I don't know if I'm doing that next. Oh yeah, I am. So I end up adding a little bow, which is another thing that was on the original layout, and I add it in pretty much the same area. So I just use some pink ribbon here. It's my favorite. It's the satiny pink ribbon with a bit of a scalloped border on each edge. And so I'm just trying to tie my little bow, and I put that in about the same area that the original post has it, and I like that. You know, the thing I like about scraplifting too is it gives me ideas of things I wouldn't normally do. Like I might not have thought to put a ribbon or a bow specifically in this area, but because I'm looking at someone else's work, it's inspiring me to use different parts of my stash and different techniques that I might have, like, obviously I've put bows on pages before, but it made me think to use it in this instance. And obviously, if you find a page you're interested you like, it makes sense that you'd like the way they did things. So it's just a fun way to incorporate new techniques or just a different way to approach making a scrapbook page. So yeah, and then after this, I end up putting a little bit of gold Heidi shine everywhere to kind of tie everything together. But other than that, I think that that is the full page. So I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. I think I even like it better than last week's. I think it's because I did put a little of my own spin on things. But if you're liking this series, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions of scrapbook pages you really like and maybe think I should do, leave that in a comment down below and it might be picked for next week's Scrap Lift Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned for some still shots of the final piece, and happy scrapping!